you told the children?
They think she's working.
They're going to have to know sooner or later.
Rather they got used to her not being around before I tell them she's never going to come home.
People are rather nervous at the moment. Fiona's upturned quite an apple cart.
I lived with Fiona for 12 years, Silas. How could I not have known? Do you think I knew?
None of us knew. Damn it, Bernard, I recruited her. I should have been the first to spot something. She was pretty thoroughly vetted. By me.
Oxford?
Yeah, we slipped her in with the Trotskyites in '68. Perhaps some of it stuck to him. Was it you who warned Fiona? It was a nice piece of timing, well, did it? Just enough leeway for her to slip out of the country, and not quite enough leeway for her to get hold of the kids. You know, I might have done the same thing myself. Except it all tends to catch up on you in the end.
What is it, a joke? Hugo Storch is alive and well and living in Mexico City.
Storch was the name of a maths teacher we had at school in Berlin, a die-hard old Nazi. Hugo was the first name of a famous profiteer he used to rant and rave about.
So?
Hugo's second name was Stinnes.
The KGB bloke who nobbled you in East Berlin?
Exactly. This office put out an alert for him.
Well, you don't have to tell me that, old boy. I signed the alert myself. We do try to keep our fingers on the pulse.
Werner's trying to tell us in his oblique way that Erich Stinnes is in Mexico City.
And what's Werner doing in Mexico?
He's on holiday.
This Fiona business could pull this whole office apart. You do realise that, don't you? Brett's lost his Brahms empire. Desk and staff in search of a role. There's no more dangerous an animal the length and breadth of Whitehall, believe me. He's trying to muscle in on me, Bernard. And you. Do you know what he said the other day? That the protection of your children was costing the British taxpayer the equivalent of an exocet every 10 days. It ought to be cheaper to have them put down. Chagger?
Oh, thank you.
I mean, what's your friend Werner want?
Stinnes is on our wanted list. Werner's telling us where to find him.
I hope we're getting paid, I suppose.
You're my department head. I'm reporting it, that's all.
I'm sorry, sir, Mr. Sampson.
All right, I'll run.
Who vouches for you? I'm sorry, sir.
He is the German debt.
Oh.
Look, the index name is Norman Strasser. Major Eric Stinnes.
Okay.
That name and rank verified.
Well, it is your own German desk intelligence, Dickie. Looks pretty silly if they got the name wrong.
When you were arrested, the first time you saw him?
I saw him the night before when Rolf Mauser got picked up.
Here we are, sir.
Yes, would you be a dear and run it on the thingy for me? I'm pretty good at all this technology lark.
Yes, sir.
So, who arrested you, then?
I met up with Major Stinnes in the middle of a wood.
Well, what happened, for God's sake?
He had a gun and I didn't.
Dear heavens. Basic as that, was it? So then he took you down to Normanstrasse for interrogation?
No, not exactly. He'd been told to leave me alone till someone else arrived.
All ready for you now?
Thank you. Oh.
Fiona.
Well, the sod all here. Oh, really? About as much information as on the back of Werner's postcards.
Well, hop on a plane, check it out.
What, Mexico? Just jump on a plane to places like that, full of diseases. Have to have jabs and things. Tell me, how did you react to Fiona?
He was very, very surprised.
Yes, well, even I can't write a memo on what we got here. But see if you can't bump it up a bit. I mean, flesh him out, would you, Bernard?
We are little more than prisoners here.
Unfortunately, everyone's queuing up to pick your brains. Debriefing is often like that. Please.
You also have come to pick my brains?
Agent Erich Stinnes, KGB East Berlin.
Only a name, I'm afraid. For a Russian, he's quite Berlinerish. Been there a long time, married a local girl. But I never met him.
Did you ever hear mention of my wife in Berlin?
Your wife was too important for the Berlin office. She must have been run direct from Moscow. I imagine her arrival in Berlin will have been something of a shock for you, Mr. Stinnes.
Travel warrant.
You can't be serious. Mexico City? For 2 postcards and 3 lines of CV?
Someone obviously thinks we can find something out.
Brett Rensler?
And the DJ.
Why me? I've hardly been trusted to walk home alone for the past few weeks.
You're the only man in London who can positively identify Stinnes. So, you care to peruse that? It's an armful of needles. And then tacos some tequila for you and me, Bernard.
Don't believe it.
Yes, mucho cuidado with his luggage. Henry! Oh, nice to meet you. God, that's a ghastly environment. Oh, Bernard Sampson, he's one of my chaps in the German desk. Henry Tiptree from the embassy. Do let's get a drink. What do you do with the evidence? My neck.
Silver or terracotta?
You're not here for a holiday, Henry.
You know me. Anything I can do to help?
Yes, well, you're an old Mexico ass. We'll need ears to the ground, won't we, Bernard?
Yes, just so long as they don't belong to the cousins.
Yeah, the cousins are very knowledgeable. After all, this is their backyard.
I don't suppose the Mexicans quite see it that way.
No, I suppose not. But the CIA will be sure to get to know that you're here.
Yes, on balance, I think we are obliged to cooperate. At least formally.
Why?
Afraid of getting your hands dirty, Sampson?
Too damn right, Tiptree.
Here are the keys to my car, Dickie. Take care of them. I'm rather fond of them.
Oh, Henry's all right. I never knew him very well at Balliol, but he's quite sound. Kill the old bloody burner if he's brought us here on a wild goose chase.
Makes a break for the office.
Maybe you. You've got nothing to lose. There are a dozen people after my job. You'll bet your sweet Fanny Brett will have her firm foot inside my door by the time we get back home.
Hallo, Meister Bernhard. Hallo? This is Bernard Sampson, Liebling, my oldest friend and colleague. Wir haben schon in der Schule zusammen Murmeln gespielt. Oh, and Zina, this is Mr. Croyer.
Dickie Cryer.
Slow Croyer.
I hope you had a pleasant flight, Mr. Crowe.
Dickie, please.
One postcard from me and both of you arrive. I'm flattered. Two postcards.
So, tell me, where exactly did you see this Stinnes chap?
We met him at the Crown Prince.
Crown Prince?
A club for German businessmen. Real German beer and good German food.
How do you know it's him?
It is Stinnes, 100%.
And on his Amex card.
Maybe your Erich Stinnes is even more important than you think. Only the top of the KGB get Western credit cards.
Yes, I'm afraid we do have to make a positive identification. That's why I brought Bernard here with me.
Yes, that's him, all right.
Does it mean you can go back home to London now?
Let him come back and have a meal first.
A lovely house for a holiday, Mrs. Walken.
Belongs to Paul Biedermann. He was at school with us in Berlin. The only one who ever made any money.
You know, of course, this Stinnes could be running agents into California. Silicon Valley, something like that. Nice if we could get in ahead of our American friends. Thank you, that looks good. It'd give us negotiating power in Washington. We could get good material on KGB penetration just about anywhere in the cousin's backyard.
Stinnes only arrived here 2-3 weeks ago. If London Central is interested in Stinnes, it won't be on account of anything he might be planning to do in California or in the Guatemala rainforest. It will be on account of all things he did in Berlin during the last 2 years.
You think so?
Sag mal, hält mich für einen Trottel oder was?
Werner's not a fool, Dickie.
Point taken. Fact is, the people in London, they don't tell me everything that goes on. I'm just a chap chipping away at the coalface.
Tell me was von Stinnes.
Yeah, he's, loner. Yes, he's a loner. He probably would never have spoken to us in the first place. Except he likes pretty girls. He made out he thought he had recognized Zena from somewhere.
My word, those chilies look good.
Here in Mexico, the chili has sexual significance. A man who eats hot chilies is felt to be virile and strong.
Oh, I love chilies. I always have had a weakness for them. You know, it's the small, dark-colored ones that really blow your head off. Tell me about Paul Biedermann.
He's from a wealthy Berlin family. He has travel companies. and property in Mexico.
A 20-story office block in the city and a bloody great villa out on the coast. Mit dem Schmuck haben wir mal Fußball gespielt.
War auf Uni.
Scheiß Union, scheiß Klima.
The coast where?
Guerrero.
How come you know them, Bernard?
Miss Bernard just said. Paul was at school with us.
What?
I'll help you.
Fire extinguisher in the kitchen. Ice cubes are recommended.
Entschuldigung.
How are the kids?
Oh, they're under armed guard. There's so many guns around them, I hardly get to kiss them goodnight.
Do they know?
Well, they think Fiona's working in Berlin, which is not very far from the truth, actually.
London Central is giving you a hard time.
Yep. Everybody blaming everybody else, and most of them ending up blaming me. You know, this whole trip stinks with coincidence. Werner's broke, and Paul beat him and offered him a holiday in Mexico. So, lo and behold, Werner sees Stennis in Mexico. Well, Paul would do anything for money. That makes him very dangerous. You know, you're going to have to make contact with this Biederman, Dickie.
Oh, there are such great shots here. Fascinating woman, that Zena Volk. Very tasty. Seems to have a certain flair for our business.
Okay. I think you'll find Zena Faulkner's flair is limited to the birds and the bees, Dickie. She's an espionage groupie. She's probably doing exactly the same as Stinnes.
Oh, no. Gracias. Bernard. I've made a decision. I'm going up to LA. I want to look into the Silicon Valley situation from the California end and jaw with the cousins. Well, it's much better if you talk to Biederman. There's no sense in me showing the face. But do keep it informal, Bernard. Just find out where he is and then go and see him. You think you can do that? I'll tell you what. You can use Henry's car.
Señor, por favor. Buenos días. ¿Posible repararlo, neumático?
Sí, es posible.
Bueno. Tengo sed. ¿Hay cerveza?
En mi casa tengo un changarro.
Gracias. Casa Biederman, how far from here?
It's a long way by car. The road is very bad. You walk. I fix the car.
Okay.
Biederman a friend of yours?
See.
Здесь машины нет.
Ist doch einfach, einen Wagen zu verstecken. Schau mal da noch.
Послали нас по джунглям таскаться 800 километров.
Mann. Hier lässt es sich wirklich aushalten.
Проклятая баба. Говори свободно, товарищ. Не беспокойся. Я попал на шварцелиста.
Mój brata stanie wizitku. Fahren wir jetzt zurück in die Stadt. If you see anything in the road, run it over. Too many people get killed trying to avoid ice. They see shining in the dark.
Gentlemen!
Hello, Paul.
Scheiße! I thought you left with the others.
Is that why you sleep in the jungle?
Well, I thought maybe they'd come back with the daylight.
Coffee?
I didn't see you arrive. Well, I was out shooting lizards. I hate lizards, don't you? Those Russians are like lizards. Especially the tall one, with a German name.
Boy, you really do have the fat life here, don't you, Paul?
You know the journey a new window pane has to make to reach here.
I didn't break your precious windows.
No, I didn't stop them.
I was hiding, Paul. Me and your pals are on different sides. That's something you may not appreciate too much. Coffee? Are you doing business with them?
Them. You know what you're talking about, huh? You're in this game yourself, aren't you?
How did you get entangled?
Well, what am I supposed to do? I've got half my family still living over there in Rostov. Am I supposed to tell the KGB to go to hell? So they take it out on my aunts and uncles?
Yes, Paul, that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, I did not. I do what they tell me. Nothing serious, I told them that. Just run up the mill stuff.
Which is?
Laundering money.
They've got banks for that, Paul. Try again.
Oh, come on, Band. You know how it's done.
Yes, Paul, I know the way it's done.
Don't sneer at me.
Coffee?
If I don't do it, someone else will do it. Not going to change the history of the world, is it?
Don't ask me. You're the one that went to university.
Anyway, it's getting too dangerous. You know what? I like it, my fat life. So, I told them the British Secret Service was checking up on me. See?
So they came out here last night to smash up a few of your plates.
Can you help me, Bert?
Give me a list. London might find it useful.
What do I get in return?
I'll put a sacred tab on you. That means None of the other NATO intelligence units will touch you without telling us first. That'll get back to the Russians soon enough, and they'll take the pressure off you.
Oh. I'm not up for sale for the highest bidder. Bad, I want out. I'm not going to exchange a master in Moscow for a master in London.
You do make me laugh. You really think you're the master spy, don't you? Morning.
Morning, Bernard.
Enjoy yourself in L.A.?
Very useful trip.
Yes, so I see.
I thought we might get out of the carbon monoxide today. Combine business with a little culture for a change, don't you know? Would you mind? Please. I almost forgot. Frank sends his regards.
Frank? Harrington? What the hell's Frank Harrington doing in L.A.? Stocking up on Duke Ellington's 78s?
Attending a CIA powwow on Berlin. We had an interesting chat about Stinnes, though. My God, Frank's got a fat file on him.
Good old Frank.
Stinnes. Apparently it's an operational name. Real name is Nikolai Sadov. He married a German girl. That didn't go down too well in Moscow.
Señor, ¿qué le agrada? ¿Qué le vendemos? Barato.
Well, it makes the blood run chill. The number of human sacrifices they must have made up there before the conquistadores came. Great Cortes, when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific, silent upon a peak in Darien.
I think he was stout, Cortez, wasn't it? And all his men looked at each other with a wild surmise.
Not bad, Bernard, not bad. Surmise seems to be the operative word, doesn't it? Everything is muy complicado. Muy bloody complicado, actually. I mean, do you believe the stuff Biederman was telling you?
It's too silly a story for him to have made up.
You think Stinnes is over here to run him?
Biederman's monkey nuts. He'll be run by some stringer out of the embassy, not a KGB major all the way from Berlin.
Exactly. And Frank and I are in agreement. He's on our side, Bernard. We are definitely going to enroll Stinnes.
You're what?
Oh, we, Bernard, we. It's your operation. I want the other pyramid in the background, please. London wants Stinnes enrolled.
Hotshot like Stinnes? That's muy complicado, Dickie. We bloody dangerous, too.
So we'll be muy careful, won't we?
Are we getting any help from London?
I thought you were the one who always liked to do things on his own.
So Muggins takes the blame again as usual if anything goes wrong.
If I was you, I should take the chance while it's there. You're not exactly persona grata with London Central these days. Oh, don't be such a fool. And re-establish your reputation with Stinnes. I thought we'd use the delectable Xena for the first approach. Bait on the hook for Stinnes. I thought we'd keep it all very soft sell. We'll just see how the cookie crumbles. Now, unfortunately, I've got to meet a tedious CIA contact in Acapulco. So I'm desperately sorry, Bernard, but I'm going to have to leave you to sort out the volumes.
Erich Stinnes is big game, Bernie. No one is going to turn him in 5 minutes. If London really wants him so badly, I would knock him on the head and ship him out, rolled up in a carpet.
Why so hard on the man? I like him. He hates my wife.
Is it London really wants him? Or is it Dickie Cryer's idea?
Dickie saw Frank Harrington in L.A. Dickie says that's where the decision was made.
Anyone can talk Frank into anything. Okay, thank you.
You know, Zainab could be right about Frank. I mean, Brett Rensler's managed to get Dickie 5,500 miles away from his office in London.
With the music playing. Musikbegleitung, Stuhlpolonaise, huh?
More musical desks and musical chairs, I think. Dear Dickie has suddenly realized he's got to get home fast before the music stops him with something more than just egg on his face.
What makes you think Stinnes wants to change sides?
Well, that's what we've got to find out, Chachin.
How?
According to Dickie, the soft sell. Wait and see how the cookie crumbles.
Whatever that means.
It means Dickie sticks his head in the sand and his arse in the air and waits for the big bang.
And we make the bang. Does it mean he's taking me back on the payroll?
Not in so many words, no.
You want me to use Xena to hook him, don't you?
Men do react to her, Werner.
Oh, fein, mein Lieber, vielen Dank.
When will we be paid for finding him?
Das wird sich zeigen, Schatz. Sowas braucht Zeit.
We'll not do any more without payment.
Well, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about money. And to my knowledge, London has never paid bounty money.
Cryer said there would be a fee.
If he was here, you'd be lucky if he offered you the airfares.
I'm not looking for charity. We are asking for a finder's fee. $16,000. And if we don't receive it, I'll make sure Stinnes never believes a single word you say.
I think you're missing the point, Frau Volkmann. I would advise you not to say anything to Erich Stinnes that would suggest to him that either you or Werner have anything to do with London Central. If the KGB get wind of what we're doing, it won't be just Werner's business interests they'll foreclose on. We're not talking about a football transfer. The price of failure is somewhat higher. Let him make the first move. We wouldn't want anyone to think badly of you. Look, do I have to say I'm sorry or something?
She loves her work, Bernie. He picked her up at the Kronprinz. Bought her a flower while my back was turned. Turned for you, of course, Bernie.
Aren't they cozy?
It might be your damn queen and country, but it still makes me feel like something dirty.
How did Stennis make the first move?
That damn Russian behaved like he owned the bloody place. He's so arrogant, and of course so polite. Der Ruski tat so, als ob ihm alles hier gehört. Er ist so arrogant und natürlich so höflich. Ich möchte Sie um die Erlaubnis bitten, Ihrer wunderschönen Frau eine Blume überreichen zu dürfen. I ask your permission to give a flower to your very beautiful wife. Yes, you smile, Bernie. But I felt like stuffing it down his throat. They started talking about Diego Rivera and Siqueiros. And dear Zena, of course. She thinks they are bullfighters. So he asks her out to show her the murals. Every day, all bloody day. Do you know how many murals there are in Mexico City? He's a naturally perfect companion. He's a walking guidebook. He explained every goddamn revolutionary symbol. When he saw Karl Marx, he recited the whole of Das Kapital. Then it's lunch together.
And an innocent walk in the park.
Nee. Nothing with that man is innocent. He asks me with a smile every morning to come with them. And every morning, for your sake, Bernie, I tell him I'm otherwise engaged. And thank him with a smile for looking after my wife so well. Nothing was said until yesterday. Then he suddenly started to talk about life in the West.
Hallo, Liebling.
Hello. I told him today, but you told me to tell him. It seemed the right moment. Ein englischer Freund von mir würde Sie gerne treffen, im Vertrauen. An English friend of mine would like to meet you, in confidence.
Right, you'll move, Werner. Go with Zena tomorrow. Use my name with him. Make sure he knows which game board we're playing on. Arrange a meeting.
Erich will choose his own ground. That's his condition.
And wherever it is, I come along with you. It's our condition.
I already know where it is.
What?
Wo?
On Biedermann's boat.
Biedermann?
Tomorrow.
Seit wann bist du late?
2 days ago.
2 whole days, and you've said nothing. Excuse me, what do you think this is? A game of hide and seek? You're supposed to be handling Stinnies as and when and how I tell you.
Komm, reg dich ab, Bernie.
If you talk to Stinnis like that, he will drop you over the side of the boat.
Gracias.
Not too late to turn back. I wouldn't climb alone on a boat with that gorilla.
Nobody's asking you.
I'm coming with you.
You can't even swim.
Anyone could be hiding on the boat. We know and Moscow knows. The best way to prevent an enrollment is to kill the enroller. Huh?
Nicht schlecht, Herr Speck. So, hello. Last week, over there, you were crying to me for help.
Don't you start now.
Nothing more to do with the Russians.
No! It isn't me, Bernd. It's them. Him. Have a look. I knew nothing about it until last night.
Could have picked up a phone.
With him around here.
This guy is as hard as a mountain.
He walked right in out of the jungle. He said he would tear out my lungs from the inside.
Don't you worry, Paul. If he doesn't, I will.
Paul tends to exaggerate everything.
And now, seconds out, Samson.
I'm coming with you.
Nee, Biedermann, bringen Sie jetzt Herrn Volkmann zurück ins Haus.